Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. I'm Miss Charlotte, a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. Very often they are celebrities. And today I'm going to analyze the Synastry chart of Ms. Britney Spears, the one and only, and her ex-boyfriend, Justin Timberlake. Now, they've made it in the news recently because Britney is releasing her memoir, I think in like 2 or 3 days. Right on the heels of a major eclipse, and it's appropriate that she's doing this. Actually, she's tying off loose ends and trying to manifest something else for herself, so that's great. She's letting things go. This is good. And one of the things that she discusses, and it's been taken by news media outlets, I think it's Variety, and they've published excerpts from her book discussing pregnancy that she had while she was in a relationship with Justin, probably in the year 2000, which when she was 19. Oh, she's such a baby. She terminated it because he didn't want to be a father. She wanted it. She thought she would marry him. And the rest is history. They broke up not long after that. I think like maybe a year or two. And then he wrote a song called Cry Me a River. And now that we have some context as to potentially why and how their relationship breakdown happened, it's not looking too good for Justin. Justin, you should have thanked her. And now the song Every Time and the video for Every Time makes so much more sense now. It's not about him, it's about the baby. Arrgh! Oh, this is why feminism exists. You think we like feminism? Do you really think we like feminism? But we need it because of shit like this. Fuck you, Justin Timberlake. Anyway, I'm going to be as impartial as I can because that's what I do. I'm impartial. And trust me, I've had fuckboys seek my services before. What's wrong with me? You have no boundaries, motherfucker. See, I'm swearing now, and I promised I wouldn't do that, but here I am breaking my promises, acting like I would on my Instagram live. Okay, so we have here their Synastry chart, and there's some cute things. And someone messaged me on Instagram saying, why did they break up? They have a perfect chart. Do they really? Is either one of them helping the other by taking them where they need to be? Because I see no planets. I see nothing really supporting. There's maybe a couple supporting asteroids and planets, a couple. But Justin Timberlake's North Node of Destiny, his soul's evolution, has there's no Leo placements of Britney. He's got no Leo placements other than his rising. Oh, his North Node's in the same sign as his rising sign. Okay. Your destiny was selfish. Your destiny, when a North Node plays out in someone's first house or it's in the same sign as someone's first house cusp, I'm like, well, you have to learn that the main character is you. And what does that mean? Abandoning Justin, yourself, your values, like all of his personal placements are down here, far, far away from that North Node and onto his risings. Or not on his rising, it's in the 12th house, but it still plays out in the first because it's in the same, it's the first house cusp is in that same sign. But anyway, there's nothing here that Britney has except her part of fortune. Part of fortune is where you have luck, is where you have success. Part of fortune, right? And that's at 0 degrees in Leo. So I guess she helped him get there. Like, her part of fortune's in Leo. That's performance. That's singing and dancing and da-da-da-da, look at me. That is in Leo, so that plays into his North Node. Her gift for showmanship helps him advance his own agenda, his career. And her North Node is in Cancer, which is the mother in the home. However, it's in the same sign as her midheaven. There's a few things supporting it, but it's far away from her little Venus. Her little Venus, she loves early, and then she shot up here. North Node in the 10th house is like work. You know, she has no respite. She has no rest here unless she can become the boss of herself. North Node in the 10th house is someone whose destiny is to be public and is to it's very often to become the boss, to be the CEO. I'm not saying in all circumstances, but to really embrace her public persona, to really learn how to be famous. She's got to learn how to be famous and enjoy being famous, but while also maintaining a safe domestic situation for herself. I think releasing books is the perfect way to do that. She doesn't have to release music anymore. She's tired. She's 42. Can we just let the poor woman rest? She needs to have a farm. She needs to have a staff. She needs a masseuse. She needs a doctor, a good one. She needs whatever decent family members left she has around her. They need to be in her life. She needs to live on a mountain with animals. And then every couple of years, she can write a little memoir. She can write a little book. She could go to fiction. You know, I feel that she would make a great fiction writer. She needs a ghostwriter, but that's okay. That's okay. The world would be happy to read a book from her. And she can still be famous and still be an icon, but she can be in control. That's what I see for her destiny. Let's go back to their Synastry, okay? So there's some really cute things. And some of you are right. It's not perfect Synastry. Remember what I said in the previous video about Will and Jada? It's like twinning up. And twinning energy, lots of conjunctions, can be super, super sweet, and it's really good for a relationship. There's a lot of familiarity, but remember, familiarity breeds contempt. And Sun and Moon conjunction for both of them. Justin's moon is in Sagittarius, her sun is in Sagittarius, and they've got this cluster muck of Sagittarius placements. So he's really good at hiding how messy he is, because the moon is that domestic sphere, is that home. It's your emotional processing. It's the most intimate part about you. Whereas her sun, which is the most obvious part about you, it's your unique creativity and self-expression, all of that. Those lie in this conjunction. So that's actually really, really good for Synastry. The Lilith, though, she came with a lot of baggage. Lilith conjunction the sun. There's also Uranus here. She's just got a cluster. Neptune. Mercury. So she does have a lot of gifts, a lot of talent, and then she has a lot of baggage, which has resulted from that. You know, gifted genius people are traumatized. They are. They don't have it together. That's why it's like the crazy genius archetype, right? That's what she is. She's a crazy genius. All of this cluster muck is sitting on his moon. So obviously when the moon is inward, the sun is outward. So the moon person feels seen. He felt, you know, this girl, wow, she really sees who I am on the inside. And she did. And then she felt accepted, because when the sun shines, so she could be her wacky, weird self. They knew each other since childhood. This was a true love story, you know, not from birth, but like from pretty early on. The South Node also is not far away from any of these placements. So they kind of grew up together. Well, they didn't even kind of, they did. Their sun isn't this, sorry. Their Venuses are at exactly 25 degrees in Capricorn. Exactly. And they have an exact conjunction of the sun and moon in Aquarius. Isn't that, wow. They are like twins. They are just like twins. Venus is love language. It is your value system. It's what you need in romance, like whatever aligns with, yeah. It is the alignment of values, and they do have them aligned. But here's the thing. A Venus in Capricorn needs something practical. Love is not just a feeling. It's just, you know, it's like, oh, I'm just going to run away with my heart. Venus in Capricorn is like, can you stay? Can you work? Is this going to work? We have to make this work. You know, if she needed him to stay. The beginning of her downfall can be traced back to that breakup, and maybe even earlier, the termination of the pregnancy. She really needed him, but he didn't need her anymore. He bolted. There's an attraction, there's an alignment of values. They grew up as working kids, right? her south node is here. So she started probably even a lot, maybe younger than he did. Her south node of the past life, the earliest part of your life. It's the energy. If you believe in reincarnation, the south node is the energy of that previous incarnation that you bring into this incarnation in the earliest part of your life, pre-Saturn return. And hers is in Capricorn, which is work. From the moment she could speak, she was working. She was making money. Venus in the fourth, if I see, marks out the fourth house. That's the home and the family. Why is she working in the house of the home and the family? This family was already, it was an institution that was established long ago, long even before she was born, I reckon. Having those Spears women work, be exploited. Yeah. And yeah, so he was part of that. He met her in this institution, and they loved each other, they needed each other, and the moment that he didn't, he left. But I think she always did, up until obviously she's done with him now, clearly. It's been like 20 years, but it took her probably a long time to let that go. They have an exact sun and moon conjunction, the moon in Aquarius, that denotes problems with the mother, problems with the family. And moon rules the fourth house, and she doesn't have an easy fourth house either. I think she loved her family. I think there definitely was a period where we're poor, but at least we love each other, that kind of vibe. But yeah, moon in Aquarius, though, is like she feels detached. She's incredibly sensitive, and that's what Aquarius moons do. They're so sensitive, and they don't want people to get in. It's like a defense mechanism. That's why they're so scatty and they can't commit to anything. Air signs, you know what you do. Air moons, you know it. I feel Libra moon's a little bit more responsible, but the other two moons, the moon conjunction with the sun. Oh, he got praised early on. Oh, he was told he was great very early on. Oh, you're so talented. You're so wonderful. You're going to make it big one day. And the sun actually rules his north node because his sun's in Leo, but his south node is on the sun. So yeah, praised very young. Got a big ego very young. You're this, you're that. So, just praised. Her moon is there. Again, similar energy. She feels that he can see her for who she truly is. She doesn't need to be performative with him. And if she wants to be, he accepts it and he loves it about her. And he feels accepted because the sun is shining and she is there as the moon person to take that on and to actually enjoy that. So yeah, there's some cute, these three placements, these three conjunctions are super sweet, but in the end, they don't get anywhere with them. So if we look up, they're just doing this similar to the Will and Jada synastry. They come strong together and then they move apart like that as they get older. I think it's just taken Will and Jada a longer time. They had to do it quite quickly because their fame just went and they were young. They were teenagers when they got together. So yeah, there's no North Node in Leo. He's gone his separate way. He's gonna take care of himself, as men do very often, and abandon their he abandoned his seventh house. He abandoned his seventh house. He abandoned himself. People that have a south node and their planets, a lot of their planets there, it's like they have to let themselves. They have to abandon themselves and their values and their motivations and their own common sense, their own everything in order to achieve this fame. And she was just in this servitude. It's coming, it's developing now. She's now, getting more power. Actually, her Chiron is very well aspected. That is a pretty tight, it's not showing on here, but it's a sextile. Her Chiron sextiles her north node, her Mars sextiles her north node. Mars is action. Mars in Virgo is very organized, and Mars is your independence, right? It's your phallus. Chiron is your wound. Chiron is the place where you are bleeding. Chiron is the thing that you have to learn to deal with. Not necessarily heal, but you have to learn how to clean out the wound and wrap it up so that you can function. You function. Those two energies actually pointing to the tip of this north node. I know it's not showing up here, but that's exactly what it is. So she might never love, like find true love, romantic love again. But is that the worst thing, ladies and gentlemen? Is that the worst thing that we, after years and years of trying to find love and it never working out and men or women disappointing you, as has been the case for Britney Spears, that her learning to live alone and to be free and be in charge of her own housing estate situation, like being in her own home, learning to run a home, learning how to be as independent and free as she possibly can, with of course some assistance because you need a village, but is that the worst situation for her? That she is free and alone but also happy, and maybe she owns a few horses and cats? Like, is that all right? Can she just heal herself? Thank you. She doesn't have to. She's been in love since she was 12. She's been in relationships, and very constrictive ones, since she was a child. She now needs to be the boss. Incredibly powerful woman. She's crazy, but she's free. And we should be happy. And as for Justin, I mean, guys, do you remember that he became a bigger pop star than her at some point? Or at least he came to be her equal. But now she's the bigger icon. Like, she was always the better performer. She was always the most charismatic one out of the two. She was the reason why he was able to launch a solo career. I mean, because if Britney Spears likes you, then there has to be something good about you. Jupiter in a conjunction with the divorced wife and the committed wife. Okay. Her Jupiter in Scorpio sits on his Juno, and Jupiter and Juno are married. So in the chart, whenever I see this with a couple that are together, I'm like, oh, you're married in the chart. Your Jupiter and your Juno like each other. They're touching, like they're in a conjunction here. But also Lilith is here in a conjunction with Juno, and she's the divorced wife. She's the angry goddess of abortion. And Britney Spears, Jupiter sits on her. Oh, okay, it's taking on new meaning now. So yeah, I think this was like a marriage. It was almost like an organized, arranged marriage, sort of, between both of them, but I just feel like there was more at play here. Like, they were a bit of an institution. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Guys, thank you so much for sitting with me and listening to this. There's a lot going on in the celebrity world. Lots of breakups post Venus retrograde, huh? And on this eclipse, there's so much information coming out about these couples. Ay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in purchasing a reading, you can just click the link below. And I also have some courses and workbooks where you can learn how to read charts. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.